What's up guys, this is Dr. Hammerstack one more time again. Today we'll be comparing the S10 Plus and S20 Plus, and in the same fashion I'll be recording the microphone on both of these cameras. And yeah, so I'll be testing out again as much as I can due to the restricted movements here in Malaysia, but I'll try to put it as much conditions as I can, and yeah, check it out. So this comparison video is pretty interesting. On the left you have the best of the S10 series, the S10 Plus, and if you don't include the 5G variant of course. And on the right you have sort of a mid-level entry to the S20 series, the S20 Plus. Keep in mind that the S10 series have gone through multiple updates to improve their camera performances. So in daytime, both produce very similar and good photos. It's a bit of a seesaw battle here, and it's pretty hard to get a clear winner of these two phones. In this photo, the S10 Plus controls the sun much better but blows out the leaves, whereas the S20 Plus does the opposite. Here they are very similar except for the sky. The S20 Plus does deal with the shadows slightly better than the S10 Plus. Here they are very similar except for the sky. The S20 Plus does deal with the shadows slightly better. The same goes when you're taking ultra wide shots as well. Now here both again are pretty similar. Let's zoom in at 10 times and you can see that the S20 Plus is sharper than the S10 Plus. And if you push it further to 30 times, you will lose some quality on the S20 Plus, but it's not too bad that you can zoom in at 30 times. Now let's look at some plants and flowers. I would give it to the S10 Plus, the details are slightly better. The S20 Plus focus is pretty inconsistent for me, and although the colors are more saturated, I still find the photos taken on the S10 is a bit better. It's the same thing on this next shot where the colors are more enhanced on the S20 Plus. The details on both are pretty much a hit and miss. Do let me know in the comment section below which you think performed better. And here we try to take the dynamic range on both phones. The S20 Plus has more details compared to the more blown out S10 Plus, but the shadows is controlled better on the S10 Plus compared to the S20. It's the same thing in the ultra wide camera, and both will give you about the same amount of view. And if you zoom in on the S20, you can definitely see that it's definitely ahead of the S10. It's clearer, it's sharper, and it can be extended to 30 times. Another thing that Samsung has improved is the live focus or portrait shot, and on the S20 series it's more punchy and dramatic compared to the more basic S10 Plus. But over here, the S20 Plus blows out the red color on my Spider-Man, which is pretty annoying for me. Now let's check out some selfie shots. Both phones take real good photos. The S10 Plus has a dual front camera for better depth and better width, but the S20 Plus is sharper and has more details. Edge detection is also better on the S20 Plus. Against the light, the S20 controls the light flare a bit better and the sky is more saturated, but somehow in this shot it is not as consistent. As you can see, the S10 actually I feel looks better. So over here on the selfie video, I put it on just normal HD on both phones because the S20 doesn't have 60 FPS and all that, and Ultra HD at 60 FPS. So on the same playing field, now I'm going back to the shadows. You can see that the color and everything's pretty similar, and even on the background, colors are a little bit similar. Do note that on the S20 Plus they have a dual camera on the front for those wider shots and for those bokeh effects. Going on to the sky, S20 Plus does look a bit bluer. So now I'm recording at HD at 60 FPS, and I would say maybe the S20 Plus is a bit more stable. This is of course without the steady mode on, and again we're gonna see through the trees and colors on the shadows on the sides. Alright, both are looking pretty darn good, and if I try to shake a bit more, I'm gonna test out the stability here as well. So same thing again, but this time I have on the steady mode on both of the phones. So I'll let you guys compare which one you feel is more stable, and even comparing to the previous video if there's any difference. And I'm going to try to shake as much as I can while running. Okay, now we're going to do some 4K recording over here. You're going to see with its steady mode on how the colors are looking on both phones. Pretty similar, but the S20 Plus I find is a little bit more saturated, a bit more punchy, and it actually is. Both phones can record at slow-mo and super slow-mo and are pretty similar in quality. Now going on to night photography, this is where it gets very interesting. When the night mode is off, both phones are similar, although the S20 controls the light a bit better in this shot. Same goes when the night mode is on. In this test, I would say the S10 does better than the S20, but not so when the night mode is on. Over here, I tried many times and still got the same result. The S20 is completely beaten. The trend continues with the S10 Plus taking better shots with night mode off, but the S20 Plus comes back when the night mode is on. The S20 Plus consistently controls the light at the back well, even when you zoom in over here. Okay guys, so I'm recording this at 1080p without the super steady mode on between the S20 Plus and S10 Plus. Now we're going into somewhere really dark. So I think both do a pretty decent job, but you can actually see the color. One is a little bit more yellow on the S10 Plus. The S20 Plus is still alright. Okay, this is pretty interesting. You can see here when I'm on the super steady mode on both of these phones, the S20 Plus you can't see anything. The S10 Plus still you get a little decent amount of light. Pretty impressive. This is pretty interesting. So this is at 4K with super steady mode on, and again same thing. S20 Plus surprisingly can't see much, while the S10 Plus does better than the S20 Plus. This is when the steady mode is off on both sides. Very good performance from both cameras. You can see on the background there, the lights are very blue on the S20 Plus compared to the S10 Plus. Overall, I would say there is no clear winner between these two flagship phones, and for me that's very disappointing. If Samsung, a top world-class leading smartphone brand, wants me to change my phone every year, they must give me a solid reason to do so. The cameras on the S20 series have been advertised heavily, but it can't even beat its predecessor on all the levels, which is pretty disappointing. And I can honestly say that it's not really a huge upgrade between both phones. So that's it guys, do give a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more videos like this. It really helps me to do more. This is Dr. Hamid's Tech. Stay safe and wash your hands.